as of right this moment, we are live. Uh-oh. Time to send out a link in Discord and on Twitter. Mechanical keyboard, boys. What's up, chat? Is my delay really long? I hope it's not.
I'll take my leave unless you have a specific.
Alright guys, so the thing I'm gonna need your help with is making sure that all my audio levels are good. I did some test recordings and listened to the audio and it sounded okay, but you're the only ones who can tell me for sure. But other than that, how's everybody doing? I've got half a beer left and one more that I hope to finish by the time we're done. Yeah, Knight, if it sounds good, then it's probably okay. My experience with audio stuff is that when it sounds really bad, that's when you know something's wrong. Now I get to record using my new capture card. You can't bully me into using a face cam, chat. Am I quiet, or is the game audio quiet? Or is the music quiet? I guess that any of those could be wrong. But I'll do my arena daily so we can at least get sound effects too. Oh, and of course, animation's on.
Let's go. Guide me.
No, I will not be summoning.
Okay.
At least not today. I've got to save up for the 1500 orb Omega summoning stream whenever I get around to doing that.
Let's see.
My turn? Of course.
Let's go.
I'm to have Noe bully the entire enemy team. I did just grab a pile of emotes, so I have no idea which emotes people want. But I grabbed ones that I like to use.
Yeah.
From Frankerface Z.
Very well.
So if anyone, but I still have room for more. So if people have requests for emotes, just let me know, and I can get around to adding them, hopefully.
This might get unpleasant.
Oh, and I need to monitor my game audio so that, oh wait, no, it's not going to work. Damn it. I'm not going to be able to hear my own game sound.
Go. Yes.
Well, I'll figure that out next time. I plan to get a face cam at some point, but please do not donate just to try to get me to get a face cam.
turn?
Man, ending the turn is like really strong. What's up, Nara? I hope your evening is going well. Or morning, I guess, if you are European time. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I could do some unit reviews near the end, I think, after I get through Arena Assault. I've got some open friends list spots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guide me.
Tell me.
Nah, Dual Twin, it's not a money thing, it's really just an I'm shy thing.
Of course.
Yes.
Evanus. I'm not Evanus. Oh, did I screw myself over, actually?
My turn?
Maybe? I don't think so, though.
Let's go! Guide me.
Let's see. Tell me.
Luna Smug. Hey, Sophia, what's up?
Dragon Rampage!
Yeah, Noe is basically broken. Oh, but Soren time. Soren can actually do things when he's not getting bullied by Xander. Oh, audio's down? Crap. Hang on 1 second. I may have. Alright, let me know if we still have audio.
I wonder where the best sparklies for my collection might be.
OBS says that it's back, so just let me know.
Yeah.
Great.
My turn?
But I figured I would start with Arena Dailies just to see what's going on. And then from there, we'll move into Arena Assault, since I haven't done it for the week. And, I don't know, I've got some garbage teams that people might think are funny.
Very well.
Goodbye, Ninian. Yeah, I don't like Lightning Breath on Ninian at all. I am recording using an Elgato HD60, and my phone is an iPhone 8. all things considered, it actually wasn't too expensive to set up. Like, since I'm recording out of iOS, I did need to get an HDMI to Lightning adapter, which is kind of more expensive than it really should be. But other than that, easy peasy. Yeah, I agree. I like Light Breath with Triangle Adept on Ninian. And just have her sit as like a dedicated anti-red. Oh, I'll put my friend code up in a little bit, and we'll do unit reviews, because now that I think about it, that's a good idea. Also, 736, that is way too low. We can do way better. Okay, so the cable does cost a decent bit of money, but it's not a $100 cable. I don't know where he's buying cables that are $100. I got mine for like 30. Time for score resetting. Oh, there we go. Let's go, boys. Alright, what do we got? Tactics team with Lynn, Ira, Tharja, and Winterlissa. Yeah, maybe he's just buying cables that are made out of diamond or some crap, I don't know. I bet Noe could actually just tank Lynn without, like, any problem. I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, because I can even debuff Lynn too, so that'll look great.
Yes.
But then I need to swap Faye and Tiki.
Guide me.
And they do have Armor March, which is expected. But she only has Vengeful, so that's fine. She has Bold, but only a handbelt. Yeah, we're good.
Let's see.
And when the AI rallies, you know that they're screwed. Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of messed up that people don't just run Bold Fighter on their 18-speed unit. What a bad decision. 0 damage, let's go. Wait, Aira didn't double? Why didn't Aira double? Oh, because she had chill speed and panic speed tactics, so she had -13. She had -13 speed. And we'll just keep ending the turn until the match is over. With the world's most original build of Steady Breath, Quick Riposte, Aether.
My turn? Guide me.
Yeah, thankfully I think I'm out of range of the scary +7 Summer Xanders that hard counter my team. So I think we have a decent shot here. All right. Myrrh, Ryoma, Zelgius, and Effie. Slaying Spear Effie. I think we just bring a Dragon Slayer to kill Myrrh. And then, like, I don't know, Blade Tomes. Oh, Lucas would actually. Lucas would crush this, wouldn't it? Wouldn't he? Wait, is there Gale Force on that Ryoma? Yeah, alright. Let's use Lucas. Actually, wait, let's use Obero, because she has Triangle Adept and Slaying Spear attack refined to one-hit KO Zelgius. And we'll bring Marth to kill Myrrh. Where's my boy Lucas? Lucas with the shameful Quick Riposte 2. And then, I don't know, Healer. Let's bring Lachesis. I still don't know if it's pronounced Lachesis or like Lachesis.
Do my best. Really?
Or like, I don't know. I think the original translation was like Rachesis, but I think that was more of like a language thing.
Okay.
So if we swap Obero with Lucas and then move him up, Lucas can tank Ryoma and Zelgius. But holy crap, Zelgius's buffs.
As you say.
Alright, we'll trust in Lucas. I believe.
Onward.
I believe in Lucas. And guidance on her, of course. So we will keep her out of range. Lachesis. 0 times 2, but is it a lethal 0 times 2?
Let's see how you handle this. Pray this ends quick.
I stream as of the last like 5 minutes.
Pray this ends quick.
Come on, Lucas, you have to say they never learn. Okay, so if I move... If I move Marth up 2 and then swap with Lucas, I think Myrrh will suicide.
Together.
I'm gonna go with that.
Onward.
And then heal up Lucas. Yeah, okay. Oh, she doesn't die. I guess Death Tile.
Understood.
But otherwise, real simple.
Leave it to me.
Swap.
Really?
Obero ended up being a cheerleader. Oh no, Effie went for Obero.
Okay.
And that's it.
Coming through.
Yeah, defense tiles are basically cheating.
Ah.
The AI just does not play around them correctly. Alright, 2 down. But we did use Lucas. Armor Master, huh? Alright, we got a Drug with Wrath. But no distant counter. And then Ryoma. Hector with Vengeful Fighter. Chat, do you see anything wrong with this build? I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think that something about this build is not quite right. I don't know if it's the Seal Attack Seal or the Vengeful Fighter with original Armots. But I mean, this man is the armor master, so I guess I can't really question him. Alright, does Effie? And Effie does have distant counter. How do I want to handle this, though? Well, Hector is easy. We can take care of Hector without a problem. Now, which blue unit do I want to use, though, to take care of Draug and Ryoma? Draug and Ryoma. Let's bring Perry, because she's kind of garbage. And then... yes. Ephraim? What did Effie have? Slaying Spear and Aether. I wish I had more like good green infantry. Oh wait, we'll bring Jerome. And then like last time I'll go ahead and I'll bring a healer. Just in case.
Understood.
What next?
Onward.
So, sure.
Very well.
I'm like unnaturally worried that Hector is gonna end up being actually effective for a reason I don't understand.
Leave it to me.
Oh god. I do not like that.
Minerva.
Amusing.
Do we trust Ephraim on that death tile?
All
We
right.
can, right? Yeah, let's trust
Sure.
Ephraim.
What next?
Alright.
So,
Thank you, AI.
Leave it to me.
here I go.
Onward.
I mean, end turn is 100%
Very
cheat,
well.
but it's just too good.
Give me more. More.
Yeah, Ephraim's got this, but we could have at least kited around with Jenny if we needed to.
Sure.
All right.
Here I go. So,
I hope I didn't just make a mistake, but
Leave it to me.
yeah, okay, we're good.
Yeah. Understood.
And
amusing.
Hector. You know, I brought Sonicy, and I'm like not gonna end up using Sonicy.
Pathetic.
I'm gonna change my music to something a little less quiet.
What next?
Goodbye, Hector. Alright, 3 down. Oh, 738. Rip. I don't think I was going to make top 1k anyway, but that's still kind of... that bums me out. I also don't like this music. It's all too difficult, Twitch chat. Whatever, I'll figure it out at some point. Honestly, I don't know how long I'm gonna stream. I'm probably gonna stream until we run out of stuff to do or the stream falls apart because I'm bad at streaming. Oh, also, obviously, for this match, we're gonna be bringing, you know, another Falchion. Let's go ahead and bring normal Lucina. Is she fast enough to take care of Tiki? No, she's not. Let's bring Deidre as well. And then for Tiki, I'll bring Lancina and then another healer. Have like a, there we go. I really wish I had more healers, but I don't want to spend the feathers promoting them.
Your orders.
I'll actually change positions this time.
Okay, understood. Yes? Yes?
Oh god. Oh, did I mess up like really bad, actually? I may have.
Your orders. What's next?
29 times 2. No, we're okay.
What should I do?
It's going to suck really, really bad, but I think we'll be
Let's
okay.
go.
Because Lucina won't kill Tiki. Yeah, this is exactly why, by the way, people who say adult Tiki is better than young Tiki are crazy. Like, look at this. Look at this monster.
Your orders.
So my guess here is that Tiki is going to move into range and attack Lucina, but she won't die. So we're going to end the turn. Okay, dance on Mirth. That's good. Yeah, I agree. Young Tiki is all about mixed phase.
I'll go
Uh-oh.
with you.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, this Ninian didn't have Wings of Mercy, which is the only reason that worked. Because people putting not Wings of Mercy on their dancers.
What should I do?
Also, very, very lucky here that Deirdre is able to one-hit KO Myr. This is the play that will make up for me being really bad and almost losing myself the run.
What should I do? Yeah. Very well.
She has a really good chance,
Shall we?
but there can be situations where it doesn't work, mostly if Deirdre is debuffed. And this team does have debuffs. Okay, no
What's
Vantage.
next? Okay.
So now it's just on Lucina to take care of Faye, and then Deirdre can kill Ninian without any problem. Yeah, Deirdre can miss kills sometimes because she has, if I remember right, she has lower attack than Julia. Like, Deirdre is the fast one, and Julia has high attack
Your
of
orders.
the two.
Very well.
And now we're just waiting for Ninian to get into range, and then we'll explode her.
All right.
Yeah, that's not
Let's
gonna
go. I'll go with you.
The main reason I haven't refined a lot of my weapons is honestly that I just hoard all my resources. So for stuff like the falchions or Ephraim, I haven't really needed the refine effect to get the job done. Alright, this team looks pretty normal. Not really expecting anything crazy here. So again, we need to bring a Dragon Slayer. And a generic blue unit. How many matches do we have left? I think this time we'll bring Julia alongside Roy. Just in case. I think Julia can take care of Grima, but I don't really want to do the math, and I know that Roy can. And then we'll just bring... Let's bring Reinhardt. And Azura without any weapons equipped. Swap everything around.
Yes? Let's go.
I'll swap these two.
Orders.
What can I do?
I'm not gonna get like messed up or anything. No.
What?
Who is my favorite hero?
Understood.
That's actually kind of tough. I think my favorite
This must be
design-wise is probably Swordheart. I really think Swordheart's design is like really cool, and you can do some weird things with him that you just can't do with other characters that I think are really interesting. Favorite to play with is definitely, I guess, any of the ploy mages. So like Sorin, Arvis, Lute, Sias, like any of those. I really like that playstyle. And then we'll just do this.
All right.
And enter. Ended up getting a minus HP plus speed female Grima on her release banner. Been trying to experiment with a couple builds, but I simply can't find a good build whatsoever. Any ideas? My favorite build for female Grima is the Windsweep build. So it doesn't really work that great with Expiration because Expiration is kind of awkward. But you can replace her B skill with Windsweep, and then pick either Light Breath or Dark Breath, and then kind of go from there. If your scoring, if your score range is really high, like you don't need your dragon to have distant counter, then you can run Dragon Skin in the A. But if you still need distant counter, then you probably want to run it with like Dark Breath instead. The Dark Breath and Light Breath are both very good once you get to the scoring ranges where ranged units become significantly less common. Because the massive stat boost you can get is kind of crazy. Either from the buffs of Light Breath or the debuffs of Dark Breath. So if you want like a really cool high-end build, I would go with that. If you're just looking for something kind of like medium or like even low investment that works for female Grima, just consider giving her like Vantage, since yours is plus speed, and use her like a generic mixed, basically like a colorless Ryoma. where you like initiate on somebody and then you set up a vantage with like a glimmer. Either of those should work pretty okay. What do we have this time? We have Zelgius with Warding Breath, Amelia with Vengeful Fighter, Myrrh again, and Clarine. Do I think that we will get refines for brave weapons to have enemy phase use? I think so. Brave weapons are in a really... Every brave weapon that isn't Brave Bow... Excuse me. Every weapon that isn't Brave Bow is in kind of a weird spot right now, where they need something, right? Like, Brave Sword is just kind of garbage compared to Slaying Edge. But if we just gave them the normal refines, they would probably be still not good enough. But if we gave them much more than that, they would be too good, right? So I think giving them the ability to work on both phases might be a way to fix that. I do think it would be too strong with Vantage and the smoke skills, so I don't think it's something we should jump to right away, or at least it's not something that should be implemented without a lot of playtesting, because that could be very busted. But anyway, so this Clarine here is a good example of what like a crazy high investment healer looks like, with like attack speed bond, attack tactic, and candlelight from Bridal Lid. This is like a really, really nasty Clarine build. And it's going to force me to run something player phase to kill it, because she's just going to run forward and debuff my entire team. The question of the other units is pretty simple. I think we can just use a generic cavalry team and be okay. Where is he? There he is. Giving Swordheart dual phase Brave was... I don't think it was too much. It is kind of weird that they are evaluating dual phase Brave to be worth the same as 3 speed. Like if you compare the Master Sword to Amity, where Amity is 11 might minus 2 speed, so it's basically a Brave Sword with plus 3 speed on it. Evaluating Amity and Swordheart and the Master Sword next to each other makes Amity look really, really bad. But on the other hand, I don't really think it's like broken or a problem at all.
Take this, okay?
Yes?
Alright, so this is just going to be all about Liliana killing everything. Oh, that's perfect.
I swear it.
What?
All right.
Can't decide.
Excuse me?
Wonderful. Take this, okay?
I may have made a mistake.
Very well.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
We can take a hit. There's no teleports.
Can't decide.
This just helps us get into desperation range easier. Maybe they could do enemy phase capabilities only when above 75. That'd be kind of like a hacky solution, but it would work. Wow, I'm actually able to double. That's kind of crazy. Thank you, cavalry buffs.
I cannot allow this.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I thought this run was going to be a lot more difficult than it apparently is.
I trust you.
And nothing weird's going to happen.
I swear it. Very well.
Take this, okay?
Onward.
Does that look like 0 times 4 chat? I don't think so. We gotta redeem Olwen.
I trust you.
He's trying her best. 41 speed, my god.
I'll do it.
Can't decide.
I swear it.
Well, that's not good.
Yes?
Take this, okay?
Very well.
I think we need to fall back, because I shouldn't have let her get the death tile.
Can't decide.
Still doesn't work off the death tile, huh? Okay, fine.
I trust you.
Onward.
Wonderful.
I'll do it.
Now I've got to get the AI to play nice. What would be the best approach to make a 5+10 unit? Would you either merge a 4+10 and then spend 17k, or would you upgrade all at once? So there are two main limiting factors when you want to make a 5+10 unit. The first is the feathers, obviously, right? But luckily, getting feathers for a 5+10 is literally just a matter of time. The only thing that you're waiting on is how long does it take you, based on how many feathers you're getting from whatever sources, to get 220,000, right? Assuming you have none. The second limiting factor is the number of units you have to merge. So for instance, I've been playing since launch and I've still not pulled a single copy of Soleil, right? So even though I would love to make a 5+10 Soleil, I can't because I don't have Soleil. So even if I had all the feathers in the world, it wouldn't matter because I don't have the units themselves. So in that regard, making a 4+10 out of a unit you want to build into a 5+10 is really weird because you're kind of throwing away 10 copies of that unit, right? So for a unit that is super duper common, that isn't that bad. But for a unit that is in like the 4 or 5 star pool, or for a unit that you only have 10 copies of, in a color that you don't intend to pull very often, that's kind of a waste. So in general, I would recommend upgrading all at once if possible, or upgrading incrementally over time. So like making a 5+0 and then making it a 5+1, 5+2, etc. And final boss. Did we fight like this exact team earlier? We did. This is literally the first team we fought. I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of them. I don't think I've ever had that happen. Because I remember we fought a Ryoma that had Heavy Blade and Gale Force. Well now what do we use? We need an answer for Effie. I think we're gonna bring Micaiah. Oh, we can bring Ninian because we can just use a dancer. We could always just use, like, Hector to take care of Effie. So, Marth takes care of Myrrh, Hector takes care of Effie, and then we need a unit that can take care of Zelgius and Ryoma. I could use my backup Lucas with Shiro. Actually, wait a minute. Oh wait, no, I need to bring that. This is actually one of the downsides of having, like, a lot of units. Is that I don't know which unit I should be using. I wish I hadn't used both Reinhardt and Olwen. I think Oscar will be fine. Nah. Thanks for that, Soaring Eagle. I appreciate it. I've been wanting to get on Twitch for a while. But yeah, the live environment is like really different. So I normally record everything and edit everything based on like scripts and stuff. So I can take out all the mistakes that I make. But live, I can't do that. So it's gonna take me a while to get used to that. Of course I enabled Rhine Fey. I'm not going to not enable Rhine Fey. Hey Lindis, what's up? Pack that Self to remove Zelkius. Bring TA Swordbreaker M. Robin, the oldest in anti-red technology. I think we just bring Micaiah. How fast was Ryoma? 39? Yeah, we just bring Micaiah. Let's get this going. And I'll use an item if I end up needing one.
Yes?
All right.
Let's see.
Oh-ho!
Of course. Let's move.
Okay.
What should I
assume
do?
she does get killed by Effie, so I do need Hector for that.
Let's move.
Oh-ho!
And Murd does have guidance. But I don't think that actually matters. Yeah, this is a straight up neutral Micaiah.
Done.
No tricks. Oh, one shot. Yeah, chat. I'm gonna need all of your input on emotes because I haven't fully set up all of my emotes. Do we trust Micaiah to one-shot a fully buffed Zelg on a defense tile? I don't think we do, right? Neutral Micaiah?
What should I do?
Oh my god, we totally should.
Let's move. Yes.
Other mages, are you even trying?
All right.
Now, Ryoma, I don't
should I
think she
do?
kills, right? No. Okay.
Of course.
So for Ryoma, we're going to need to use... Oh, wait a minute. 39 speed on Ryoma. Yes, Swordbreaker.
Yes.
I think if we park... Yeah, okay, he doesn't have Vantage. So if we put Ninian on this defense tile, and then we pull Micaiah back for that... Oh, we have to go back 2 spaces, actually.
Yes.
So no, we can't Okay. Boom. Yo, look at how... Oh, damn it.
What should I do?
I keep forgetting it doesn't carry over through the player phase. I wanted to talk about how cool Light Breath is and why it's actually really good.
On it.
Of course.
All right.
Yes.
Man, this Arena Week has been really sad because we get to see all of these, like, +10 Ryomas that have just been benched
On it.
because they've been now completely... Oh, shit, she has Slaying Spear.
Let's move.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, we're fine. Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's best on, like, the Bruiser Dragons. So, like, Faye, female Kana, female Corrin. I think use it the best.
Oh-ho.
Nice armor weapon, Effie. The end turn button is all that a real tactician needs. Alright, that's Arena Assault, and unfortunately, 5188 is nowhere near top 1k cutoff, I bet. Actually, 971, but I'm going to drop out, almost certainly. Alright, chat. That was all the stuff I actually wanted to play. So I guess now I'm just going to grind some SP and I'll take, I don't know, questions and we can hang out. If anyone has any questions. Oh, what was I saying about Ryoma? So Ryoma has kind of fallen on hard times because there have been a lot of not necessarily strictly better, but a lot of sword units that kind of compete with him at his job, which is mixed phase generalist stuff. So the obvious ones that beat him out are units like Aira and Zelgius, right, who just go over the top. But there's also been a whole lot of like above average really good swords like Soleil, Mia, Leaf even, who just kind of do everything that Ryoma would do. I mean, yeah, honestly, even Athena. Like, Athena is strictly worse than Mia, but Athena is not bad. So Ryoma's kind of been pigeonholed into this role where the only set that he can run, really, is the Steady Breath set, but he is not nearly as effective as other Swordmaster and Myrmidon units are in that same set. Actually, instead of grinding SP, I'll do unit reviews. So there's my friend code. So I'll give it some time for people to send stuff in, and then we'll go through some units. Who thinks Azura should get her own weapon? I totally think she should. I'm really kind of surprised that she didn't get one in the last round of refines with Corrin and Camilla, because she definitely needs one at this point. The Sapphire Lance is really good on her, but she needs to have the Blessed Lance. Or Blessed Spear, I forget. I don't remember the weapon name. But so this week in particular, we got a bunch of players kind of dusting off their Ryomas, like myself included, right? I have to tab away. But, you know, earlier on, the first 5-star exclusive that I wanted to make into a 5+10 was Ryoma, because I thought Ryoma was really cool and I liked the way he played. But by the time I got him to +4, they just started releasing better red units, so I just said, well, I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother investing the 1,500 orbs or whatever over the course of months to get this guy to +10. But yeah, this attack stat and this speed stat, that's the good stuff. Alright, people sent stuff in yet? Yeah! Alright, I'm gonna start at... Let's start at the top. If I don't get through everyone, by the way, I apologize. But there's some interesting units here, so this should be pretty cool. Do you think Leaf will ever get a focus banner again? I mean, he definitely will. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get one for at least a couple of months. Like maybe in like early fall. All right. So I'm gonna start here with Chihiro's Ninian, and yeah, this is kind of a work of art. A little bit. Not only do you have, well, Lightning Breath is like kind of, I'm not a big fan of Lightning Breath on Ninian, but you're using Steady Breath, so it makes sense. But Obstruct, and not just any Obstruct, but 150 coins Obstruct. This is sick, actually. It kind of doesn't really combo with anything in the build. Like for example, if you're using Obstruct, then Light Breath actually makes sense because enemies are going to be not forced to attack you, but more likely to attack you. But yeah, otherwise this is pretty cool. Like Ninian is deceptively tanky, so actually using her tankiness makes sense. The only change that I would make personally is I would actually go back to Escape Route on this set, because even though Geyser Dance is... The stat buffing dance skills are okay, but the fact that Ninian is like clearly going to be tanking here, and then she can transition from being a tank into teleporting is, I don't know, at least interesting. I don't know how good that would be because I've never tried it myself, but it seems like a cool build. But yeah, this is a really, really cool Ninian, and you're a brave man for investing 150 coins just to make a meme. Okay. All right. Next up, we have a male Corrin from Duel. So I don't know enough about male Corrin to spot his IVs immediately. So I don't know what IV this male Corrin is. I'm gonna guess that it's plus attack. But Dual Twin, maybe you can tell me, because I don't think this is plus speed. So I'm gonna guess that it's plus attack. But yeah, this is very, I wouldn't say standard M Corrin, but this is the kind of thing that he can do now, right? So the chill speed seal I think makes sense. Or sorry, chill speed in the B slot makes a lot of sense. The A skill, I would prefer if it was steady breath or distant counter, but I'm also like, I understand that just saying put steady breath and distant counter on everything is silly. So sturdy blow makes sense for points, and it also helps him brawl in melee, so it's not like it's bad either way. And then defense tactic obviously fits in with his supporting ability, and close defense is just going to be good in melee. Yeah, I mean, male Corrin is actually pretty good now. The fact that his personal weapon now kind of digs him out of the hole that he was in means that he is not... It's gonna sound mean to say, but he's not a joke anymore, right? Like, he actually has real stats. Where male Corrin is now really bulky, like, actually surprisingly bulky. Like, we're looking at, you know, male Corrin builds that could have like 80 plus physical bulk on 40 plus speed, right? Like, really hard to kill. That also make his teammates into incredible monsters. Like, if you saw the stuff that Acarus was doing with Niles, right? Where Niles could just solo the entire game. Like, that's the kind of stuff that male Corrin can do, and I think that's really cool. So the thing I like about Milcorn is that because the weapon is doing all of the work, almost everything else about the build is flexible, right? So the A skill is probably going to need to be Distant Counter or Steady Breath to be like super top end viable, but other than that, everything else in the kit can be kind of whatever you want, and I think that's really cool. So even though I haven't spent a lot of time looking at him myself, I think there is a lot of room for really creative Milcorn builds that can enable some really cool strategies. So this is cool stuff. 40 plus 3, I assume he is on the way to plus 10, and I would be happy to see him when he is done, because I bet he's going to be really cool. Alright. Next up we have Mystic with a Summer Robin, which is actually a unit you don't see very much of anymore, but is pretty good. Infantry Lancers are very rare, not only in Heroes, but in Fire Emblem in general, right? So the fact that we have a really good Infantry Lancer that is locked behind a seasonal barrier kind of sucks. At a glance, I feel like this build is a little bit all over the place. The Infantry Pulse and Deft Harpoon, or Infantry Pulse and 40 health aren't really synergizing with each other that well, unless you're buffing a specific unit that has less than 40 health, like say an AoE special mage. But other than that, I'm not really sure what Infantry Pulse is going to hit, right? But otherwise, this looks like a pretty standard and successful mixed phase melee set. So she doesn't have distant counter, but she's more than fast enough to attack on the player phase without getting doubled, and more than fast enough to double on the enemy phase if she needs to, right? So pretty solid. I think changing out Renewal for Vantage would make a lot of sense here. Oh, Summoner Support, obviously. Okay, that changes things. So yeah, Summoner Support bringing her to 45 means that she has a lot more Infantry Pulse options. If you like using Distant Defense on her, you probably should consider Distant Counter. But on the other hand, if you like playing the kind of mixed phase melee playstyle, then maybe dropping Distant Defense for close defense would also make sense. Or even Quick Riposte Seal, actually. So this is a cool unit because you don't see her very often. But yeah, I mean, just look at her stats. Like, Summer Robin is a good unit. She's she's about all you can expect out of an Infantry Lancer. Alright, moving on, we have Kaze. Oh man. This is a brave soul. Not because this build is bad, but because this is a merged Kaze, which means this man chose a +1 over either a Slaying Dagger or Attack Smoke. That is dedication. So Godspeed. That alone is notable. I don't think many people will be doing this, so I'm going to assume that Kaze is one of your favorite characters. But otherwise, this is basically exactly how I would build Kaze, right? Fury and Desperation makes a lot of sense given his very high speed, and it also synergizes with the Barb Shuriken because he's able to actually spam specials behind Desperation. Like a lot of units, this is going to be someone who benefits immensely from a Flashing Blade Seal whenever we get it, because currently, even with the cooldown reduction, he can't one-round Iceberg, so you do need to... It does take 2 combats to Iceberg if he doesn't get retaliated on, so it doesn't really synergize with Desperation. But if we ever get Flashing Blade, then it does work, and this is going to do a lot of damage. Like, assuming we don't have Fortress Res, then that's a 39 damage Iceberg every round, which is pretty great. So yeah, this is, there's not much else to say. Like, this is basically the perfect build for him. He just doesn't have one of the skills that he needs. So this is a cool build, and again, very brave to merge Kaze. Moving on, we have a female Corrin. So this is exactly the type of set that I was talking about a little earlier with the Dark Breath and Distant Counter combination. these builds are really, really nasty. Like, incredibly nasty. They can attack safely. They're very hard to kill because after you initiate, your stats are totally in the dumpster. And with Wrath, her special is going to be gigantic, right? So the innovation here, well, I don't know if it's an innovation, but I think it's cool, is using Res Smoke. Res Smoke makes a lot of sense here because you're already debuffing attack and speed. So because of that, you're just getting an extra debuff for your trouble. And of course, Female Corn doesn't really need defense smoke. Even though, yes, dragons have adaptive damage versus ranged units, there aren't that many ranged units that you're going to need to be super worried about with Female Corn because, you know, really, who cares, right? So this is just purely about how brutal it is in melee, and this is really, really nasty. Whenever Bonfire goes off, it is almost certainly going to kill whatever she is fighting, and that is kind of terrifying. Windsweep is the natural substitution here, where the choice, in my opinion, is basically Wrath or Windsweep, but of course both of those are expensive skills, right? So if you're looking for a budget replacement and you want to run a build like this, consider Vantage, Quick Riposte, or Renewal. But yeah, very, very cool build. Next, here's a unit that we don't see a lot of anymore, actually. Female Morgan. It's almost base kit. I don't remember if Female Morgan has Iceberg in her base kit. I know she doesn't have Quick Riposte because she has Guard, but otherwise this is Female Morgan. It's totally enemy phase, but that's okay. Because with Attack Ploy and Blar Serpent, she's not going to be taking much damage. The only thing she needs to watch out for are archers, and if you really need to, you can always run Iote's Shield. I don't know if it's Iotes or Iotes, but whatever. The A skill is also mostly flexible. The Mirror Strike, or Mirror Stance, obviously synergizes with what she's doing naturally, which is tanking mages on enemy phase. But if you want to do kind of a mixed tank set, you can run something like Distant Defense and then Iote's Shield in the Seal, which lets her tank a decent number of archers, although Brave Bow is still going to be really scary. Unfortunately, with 30 speed, she is going to get doubled a lot, so anytime she isn't fighting a mage, she's kind of very fragile, but flyer buffs really help you dig out of that hole. So yeah. Pretty straightforward. This build is playing to Female Morgan's strengths, but it isn't really covering for her weaknesses, but that's also very hard to do. Alright, moving on, we have a plus 10 Kagero, with 60 attack and 41 speed. This is terrifying. Judging by the Blazing Wind and Quicken Pulse, Speed Ploy would be an interesting choice, actually. Because with, on Female Morgan, because with Hone Flyers you'd be at 36, so effective 41 with Speed Ploy, so yeah, that's actually a really good suggestion. But yeah, look, I mean, is there anything I really need to say about this build other than, like, holy crap, like, you see this on the enemy team and you fear for your life, right? The fact that you have Wings of Mercy as almost insult to injury is pretty brutal. Where if your opponent makes a mistake, then Kagero can just teleport in and actually blow up their entire team. The attack smoke, I don't really know what it's doing, but I mean, it's not like she's gonna have trouble killing things anyway, so you might as well apply a debuff to help your other teammates. I'm assuming this is a part of an infantry pulse team because obviously, but yeah, this is why AoE specials are good. And if we ever see scoring reworks that make AoE specials easier to run in terms of score, replace Kagami Mochi with Barb Shuriken. It's a good joke, chat. But yeah, if we ever get to a point where it's easier to run AoE specials on defense safely, then you're going to see a lot more kind of gatekeeper teams like this. Where this is a team that this is a unit that I have to imagine racks up like 1,000,000 defense wins. But yeah, again, this is a beautiful build, and I hope I never ever have to fight against it. Alright, soaring with an original Lyn, which is a unit that I really like, but that we don't see anymore ever, because she hasn't been on a banner in like months. Lyn's strength as a unit is her ability to kind of run every B skill if you want it. She can run the Brash Assault Desperation combo along with, Wrath and other stuff if she needs to. So the weird thing about Lyn is that she has very surprisingly good magical bulk. With 40 base speed, or not 40 base speed, but with speed in the 40s, right? Even at +0 on 32 res and 44 HP, it's really tough for mages to kill Lyn, even though she doesn't have distant counter. Her attack is, of course, kind of in the dumpster, but she does at least get value out of her other stats, so it's not like it's completely wasted. Vanilla Lyn goes onto the pile of units that really, really want a Flashing Blade seal, because she can run it in the A and use like Gale Force productively, or even Aether or like Wrath sets without a problem, but her base attack is just so low at that point that her specials aren't actually that threatening. So yeah, this is a very old school Lyn, actually. Fury Vantage and Hone Speed is like introduction of skill inheritance build, but of course the Refine adds a fun twist on. I've still never pulled a vanilla Lyn, so yeah, I'm kind of jealous just because I don't have one. How exactly does the Refined Sulcati work? So it is literally Brash Assault Desperation. So the first effect is, I think it's Desperation 2. Someone might correct me if I'm wrong there. I think it's Desperation 2. And then the Refine effect is Brash Assault. So you get to combine Desperation and Brash Assault for a guaranteed preemptive double, as long as you are a guaranteed preemptive double regardless of speed, as long as you are below the health threshold. Which then frees up her B slot for like Wrath or Vantage or whatever else you want to run. And then next up we have another vanilla Lyn. This is kind of odd. I'm not used to seeing Warding Breath and Axe Breaker on the same build, so I feel like this maybe is a specific role player unit on her team. Like, her job is only to take care of Maelgrima and Hector, like, exactly. So I'm not really sure what the intent is here, but it's interesting if nothing else. Distant defense with no distant counter is odd, but it does make her resistance versus mages like pretty good. I don't know what IV this is, like if this is a minus res Lyn or neutral res, I can't quite tell. So if you're in the chat and you could tell me, that'd be cool. But yeah, otherwise this seems like it just has a very specific role on the team, and I don't know. I think sometimes you do need to build units like this, but I think it would be better if you replaced Axe Breaker with a more universal B skill, like Wrath, Vantage, Renewal, Quick Riposte, whatever. Just something that isn't only going to affect matchups with Axe armors. I guess it does also help versus Raven, which I haven't considered. So I don't really understand what's going on, is what I'm getting at. Let's see. Next up we have Paula from Brady. Okay. I think I like this build. This is a very again, very old school, like Fury and Moonbow, right? Memes aside. combine well, especially with Wodao for a lot of damage. And then her B skill is mostly going to be flexible. Wings of Mercy lets her teleport to her teammates. You know, you can also run Vantage, Quick Riposte, whatever, the old standbys. And then C slot is again flexible, but Goad Flyers makes sense. You know, I wouldn't really be worried about me ripping this build apart because it's pretty straightforward, right? It has a job and it looks like it's okay at doing that job. The only thing that's disappointing about melee flyer builds like this is that they don't have access to Wrath, so you can't really abuse the kind of weapon triangle breaking damage that infantry can. But yeah, seems pretty simple. Is there a criteria to get onto my friends list? Not really. I don't know. I've never really thought about like gatekeeping my friends list. Let me get back to you on that, because if I am going to be streaming more, I would like to get viewers and, you know, people that I actually talk to on my friends list instead of just people I see in the arena. But for now, I don't think I'm going to be adding anyone, at least not tonight. Alright, moving on, we have Micaiah. I like Micaiah a lot. I wish I had more copies of her, but Micaiah is really, really good. Thane is one of the strongest personal weapons in the game. Just full stop. 14 might, 3 res, damage reduction, and dual effective damage. She kills stuff. She kills stuff dead. Really good. Especially valuable in a world where Zelgius exists, because Micaiah will almost unconditionally kill Zelgius. Now, of course, the weird thing about this build, as people in chat are noting, is that this Micaiah is actually really fast. 31 base speed, thanks to the speed seal, and then darting blow brings her up to 37. So if you add in a speed buff, like ideally a speed tactic, right? You're then at 43 speed, which means she is not getting damaged or not getting doubled by A-Rep. At least not by standard A-Rep. Summoner support and seal adds even more. You're right. This is an example of a build that doesn't really make sense when you look at it as a character sheet, but makes a lot more sense when you're actually in a map and you can see all of the buffs. This is one of the difficult things about a lot of niche and weirder builds, is that weirder builds tend to only perform in context, but they don't really make sense when you look at the character sheet. I think if you wanted to go speed Micaiah, obviously you would want to invest in a plus speed Micaiah. If you wanted to get crazy, you could replace Guard with Windsweep and kind of just make people very, very frustrated. It'd basically be the same as like the Delphia Windsweep build, except you do way more damage because you're Micaiah and you have effective damage, while also still being like immune to mages because Micaiah has godly resistance. So that would maybe be something I would consider if you like this playstyle. But otherwise, cool and interesting, and I would like to see the team that goes with it, because I think it would make a lot more sense then. Alright, moving on, we have a female Kana. Man, this is very nasty, is one way to describe it. Waffles with the female Kana. The Life and Death Windsweep Dark Breath Kana. 1, this build is very fast. 2, this build does actually a surprising amount of damage for female Kana. Like 53 attack with adaptive damage or attacking versus res, that's a lot of damage when she's almost always going to double. And 3, and this is why I think female Kana is one of the best units that people don't use or talk about, is even after Life and Death, right? Even after you count Life and Death, she still has 71 physical bulk and 68 magical bulk. That is crazy. right? She has 71 physical bulk and 68 magical bulk on 43 speed with adaptive damage before you even count the debuff. If you add in summoner support, then this just gets even scarier. Waffles saying this is a plus attack minus defense Kana. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say here. It's really, really brutal. The wind sweep guarantees that she gets the debuff out safely, and then on the enemy phase, her speed is what keeps her safe. The only thing that I would maybe change is replacing the C skill with Res Smoke, kind of like the Corrin build that we saw earlier. But if she's on a dragon team, then Fortify Dragons is perfectly fine. Sadly, as you merge her up, you will kind of inevitably need to replace Glimmer with Aether, but at least for now, this is just a murder machine, and this is very, very scary to play, against. I have to imagine that this unit is very, very fun to use, so this is great work. And finally, we have a close counter Vengeful Fighter Guard Bow Halloween Jacob. So if you saw my video on Bold Fighter, you know that I'm a big fan of the very cheesy Bold Fighter Halloween Jacob builds because they're basically broken. But this is also a perfectly fine way to build this character, right? Halloween Jacob has excellent mixed bulk and no weapon triangle disadvantage. Now, the mistake here is Armored March and Armored Boots don't really work together. I guess Armored Boots makes it so that Jacob can always move 2 spaces even when he's not with an armored ally. But I'm gonna guess that this is likely because of like a quest or something and not really an intentional choice. If you do want to use Armored Boots with Halloween Jacob, then you probably want to replace the Armor March with like a Tactics skill, assuming you're on a mixed team. Or if you want to use Armor March, then you'd likely want to replace Armor Boots with Close Defense to play into the mixed bulk close counter theme. Okay, yeah, Close Defense 3 instead of the Boots. I was grinding him up. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, very good build. The Close Defense, I think, makes way more sense than Distant Defense, which is a mistake that a lot of people make, in my opinion. Because the Guard Bow makes him safe versus mages and archers anyway, so you don't really need to double down on that, and keeping him safe against melee threats is going to be far more important. Halloween Jacob is a disgusting unit. Really, really gross. But, I mean, I guess that makes it really fun to play with him, even if it's not necessarily fun to play against him. Alright, and I have a feeling that there have been more submissions since we were doing this. 2 more submissions. Alright, next up we have a Raven from Tanada. So, there's no assist skill on here. I'm assuming that's because of like Grand Conquest and Rival Domains, just to make sure the AI works. Or to play into an AoE special setup somehow. The weird thing about this build is that you are doing double life and death, which is one, kind of weird. And the second thing is that you're using Astra. So Astra plus Heavy Blade will work in 1 round of combat if Raven gets retaliated on. With 64 attack, that is going to kill basically everything, right? Like, that is an insane amount of upfront damage. On the other hand, Raven only has 57 physical and magical bulk, right? So it's very likely that he's going to die on the counterattack, especially if he's fighting at merge disadvantage. The 2 changes that I would make here, if any, would be to replace Astra with a base cooldown of 3 special, and to replace Vantage with Desperation. Raven has enough bulk, even in the double life and death set, to survive 1 hit sometimes. So if you must use double life and death, at least use Desperation to keep him safe. If you want to be more generally safe... Oh, neat. So I have notifications on that I forgot to set up, but whatever. So naturally, what people are saying, and it makes sense, is to replace Life and Death with Fury because it gets you a bunch of like bulk for free and only costs you a little bit of defensive stats. And of course, Threat and Defense is, I believe, base kit, but I'm not quite sure. But I would replace it with, well, honestly, replacing it with Odd Attack Wave if you're in expensive investment world seems like it'd be really cool. Because then you're looking at 70 attack without any outside support, which is kind of terrifying. And then last one in current round of quests. I was supposed to be cozy and then normies ruined the stream. That's not fair. Seliph. So yeah, it's Seliph. I mean, look at him. The interesting thing here immediately is that you are not running the Divine Tearfing, right? Not using Divine Tearfing is kind of a bold decision, but it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're using Steady Breath and Quick Riposte. Steady Breath, Quick Riposte, Ignis is like a very classic triangle breaker set. The only thing that you could do to make it even stronger would be to run Quick Riposte as a seal with Wrath as a B skill. But I don't really think it's necessary. Ignis on 40 defense plus Wodao is going to kill most things, so running close defense just to survive more melee matchups makes sense. As is, and keep in mind, Seliph is only at +6 here, so he has some room to grow. He's at 50 defense on the enemy phase, so he's going to basically tink most opponents and then just blow them away with Ignis. This is a lot like the Hinata sets that you see, and it's really potent. Like, it works. So good Seliph set. Did I miss something? Sorry. Oh, I actually got a donation from how do you pronounce your name? Is it Hohenzach? For $5 actually, which is kind of crazy to me. I had no idea you started streaming tonight. You were talking about it on the Discord. Here's a little something since you don't make money off those videos on YouTube. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to stream, honestly, but I'm having fun with it so far. And you say in chat, I like this set better on Hinata and using Divine Tearfing plus Deflect Magic, so he just lives on everything. I agree, I do like that set better on Hinata than Seliph, just because Hinata has a better base stat line for it. But it's very flattering, Jimbles Rogan, thank you. And now that, and as it gets later, my voice is just going to get more and more kind of like gravelly, or I'm just gonna not be able to talk altogether. So I'll put my friend code up one more time, and we'll do another round of these, because this was fun. And while we wait a minute for that to fill up, if anyone has any more questions, let me see if I missed anything. Oh, I hope I didn't miss anything, but there was a bunch of emotes. When Sinnoh remake Arden woke? I do not know. I'll add Lilina Smug after the stream's over. Because I do like Lilina Smug. It's a good emote. Dyer, tell me a story about life in your sexy voice. I don't know, man. Go to school, get a decent job, and then make a Fire Emblem Heroes channel. How many emote slots do I have left? I think I have like 10. Like I have a decent number, so I've got room to put some emotes in for sure. I think messaging me on Discord about that is going to be the best way. Princess Takumi says, seeing as I have to go soon, would just like to say that I really enjoyed your videos and I hope to see you streaming more in the future. Thank you very much for one, showing up, and 2, the compliment. I appreciate that a lot. I would like to stream more. Oh, I didn't add Pepe Hands. Oh, no. No. That one's really important. Okay, I need to add Pepe Hands, and I need to add Lillian a Smug. Those 2 for sure. Waffle says, I have to go. Thanks for the stream. It's past midnight, and I have to get to sleep. Yeah, I feel you, dude. It's all good. Thanks for stopping by. No Pepe Hands, Pepe Hands. That's pretty good. I don't have a Discord, but I've been hanging out in Acris's Discord, so you can find me there most of the time. When I should be working, but I'm instead talking about Fire Emblem Heroes. All right, that's a decent. I have finished my beer, but I'm not going to talk about drinking more beer because I think Twitch gets mad at you if you do. Hero Blue Flame says, "Hey, congrats on the new effects in your videos. They look so much nicer." Thank you very much. Because I don't put out very many videos compared to a lot of other people, I want to kind of differentiate myself in some way, so thank you very much for that. When you do another stream, please post a notification on Twitter. I will be sure to always notify, at least via Twitter, whenever I'm streaming. No Gotchi Bass either. Alright, let's see what friend requests we have. Oh, there's so many. Alright, starting from the top again. Kami with the +7 New Year's Camilla. This is a Safeguard build. That's really cool. So Safeguard Speed Refine is interesting. I haven't done a lot of math with Safeguard, but just looking at the stat line, it looks really, really good. Like, even when you don't have flyer buffs here, this is, like, pretty terrifying. I'm wondering if Fury... I don't know, I think, Kami, you may be able to speak better to this, but if you feel that you don't really need distant counter on a red unit because maybe you have Myrrh or something, then I actually really do like Fury here. Renewal is a little placeholdery, but also has good synergy with Fury and Safeguard, and close defense as well. Like, this is just really scary. This build kind of does everything except distant counter, so as long as you don't need distant counter, then this build is basically perfect, right? Like, what else would you need to do that wasn't this? Once you add in a goad stack or like hone flyers and stuff, like, this build is going to kill everything and be really, really hard to kill itself. So I like it a lot. This is just more reason that we need a permanent pool red unit like this in the flying pool. Like, just compare this to Paula, and it's like no contest. It's an excellent New Year's Camilla. All right, next up we have from Toru, we have an Adult Tiki. Using what looks to be the bog standard Adult Tiki set. Yes, this set is a little bit boring, but this set is boring and common because it works, right? You don't need to do anything else with Adult Tiki, and she can't do anything else, really. She has great attack, amazing defense, enough res, even if it's not crazy, and she can just dump her speed because she gets to run Steady Breath and Quick Riposte. There's not really much else to say here. People understand why dragons are good. Adult Tiki is easy to get relative to other dragons, and she handles every green threat in the metagame with ease. So, excellent build. Attack Smoke is the only kind of different choice, but I think Attack Smoke is going to start showing up in dragon builds, especially now that we have Kaze, so people can actually have access to it. But standard Adult Tiki, and it's standard because it's good. Alright, and then Princess T, I'm gonna guess this is Princess Takumi, has sent in a 40+4 Erica. with the Sieglund Refine, distant counter, swordbreaker, close defense, and home speed. So it's interesting to me that this isn't using tactics, because I feel like everyone I've seen use the new Sieglund has always been doing it in tactics sets. So it's kind of unexpected that you're still using home speed here. Still, Erica's fundamental problem is that on paper her stats are like not very good, but as long as you have the team support to back her up, the power of friendship will save the day by itself. So there's not really too much else to say here. Distant counter is kind of a necessary evil just for functionality and for score, and then everything else is buff up your teammates and then beat the crap out of people with a hulked out Erica. This set works. Swordbreaker is kind of a good concession just to take care of those pesky like Aras and Mias and stuff, which you otherwise can't handle with this set. So it makes sense that you're running that as well. Like all fast sword units, the only main change that I would make, and this is a very high investment change, would be to move over to a Wrath set, just because Wrath lets you break the weapon triangle so much harder. But other than that, solid build. We have a Zephiel, 40 plus 5 Zephiel from with Wodao, Fire Boost, Bold Fighter, Quick Riposte, and Armor March. Before I say anything about this build, I just want everyone in chat to experience this masterpiece. Like, some people create builds and other people create art. We have achieved peak Zephiel. Yes, this is the set worthy of a king. I agree. So, Fire Boost is a really clever way to make use of Zephiel's HP, and weirdly enough, Zephiel is one of the few units that I will definitely be adding this Zephiel. I want this on I want to use this unit, in brigades and stuff. Zephiel has enough HP and defense that he actually has a decent chance of activating Fire Boost more than one time in every map. Bold Fighter Bonfire will always activate on player phase, and then Quick Riposte will activate on enemy phase. This set works. Like, once you add in summoner support, this dude has 67 HP and ridiculous mixed bulk. Like, my god. I can see like the JoJo menacing text like coming off of him. I feel privileged to witness such beauty. Moving on, we have a 40 plus 4 Arvis. I really like seeing these heavily merged Grand Hero Battle and reward units because you know that they're being merged not because of like score or whatever, but because they like the unit. I'm not that good at Arvis builds. I should spotlight that as I feel. I'm not that clever with Arvis builds, although the replacing Valflame with Red Owl is kind of big brain. 41 speed, 50 attack before you count in the Owl stack is pretty good. It is kind of a bummer that you don't have the Ploy Boy debuffs, and you still killed Deirdre. Deirdre still died. But yeah, this build is really cool. If you have a ward stack, then you have a unit that is basically unable to be doubled and has enough bulk to survive. So, in that sense, it makes sense. The only downside, though, is that there's not really room for close counter in this build. So because you don't have close counter, your Owl stack might not be as effective as it could be. But on the other hand, he also really does want Fury, especially since he's running an Owl Tome, so kind of close. Or it's not because he's running an Owl Tome, but because he's lost so much might and so many effective stats from losing the Valflame. And then plus speed from the seal as well. Fast Ploy Boy. Continuing the trend of reward units, we have Honzak with a Marissa. This is a Marissa. It's doing things that Marissa is good at. Marissa has an issue where she has low attack, excellent speed, and like all of her stats are put into HP. Because of that, her main utility is her ability to act as an infantry pulse battery. So at the end of the day, Marissa's power level is kind of dependent on who she is being paired with, because unlike most infantry sword units, Marissa can infantry pulse kind of whoever she wants, without necessarily needing to be summoner supported. Swordbreaker, again, is a necessary evil, and Steady Breath is just, it's Steady Breath, right? It's great. She doesn't have a seal right now, but I give her Panic Ploy. Makes perfect sense with Marissa, lets you double dip on value from her health. The interesting thing about Marissa and Carol and Zephiel, actually, since we just talked about them, is that they are 3 units that can actually use their HP in a productive way outside of combat, which is something that most units can't do. So I'm glad to see builds that are trying to do that. I haven't really experimented with it too much myself, but it makes sense. Moving on, we have I'm being so blessed with these unit reviews right now. I want to give her a Slaying Edge and Wrath with a quick riposte seal so she can do double bonfires in 1 round. Yep, it's an excellent build. It's double bonfire is very, very powerful. So if you do decide to go in that direction, it will outperform a lot of other red units. But next up, we have a 40+10 Odin from Nara. Look at this man. Odin Pump. Yes, Odin Pump indeed. Close counter, guard, close defense, panic ploy. I'm gonna guess that this man is summoner supported because panic ploy doesn't really make sense on 46 health. And of course, if you're gonna 40+10 Odin, I assume you're gonna summoner support him. With 51 health, he's actually gonna be really hard to kill. Like 51 health on 39 base speed, or on 41 base speed, sorry, with 31 mixed bulk before close defense. That's like before the ward stack too. Like, yeah, this dude's gonna be a real pain in the butt to kill. And under the owl stack, he will hit harder than you would expect Odin to normally hit. As of course, as with all Odin builds, we are looking at a 40+10 5-star unit that has 38 attack. So even with such investment and love and care, at the end of the day, he is still Odin. But yeah, I have to imagine that this unit is really fun to play with, and yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say. It all works together beautifully. Oh yeah, with an attack refine too. Yeah, that's poor Odin. But this is sorry, coming back to this. This is a great example, I think, of how you can build a unit with a very synergistic kit, right? Like, Odin's attack is his clear weakness, so rather than try to fix that, Nara has created a set that sidesteps it and builds a role around Odin's mix bulk, speed, and ability to run other stuff because he isn't trying to one-hit KO or one-round KO things. Good stuff. Alright, Nut sends in another unit. This time we have an Ellie-Good. This is Valentine's Elliewood. With a Slaying Lance unrefined. I'm gonna guess that that's just because not enough stones or something. With Life and Death, QR3, and Attack +3. 60 attack. This speaks for itself. 37 speed on an armor unit. Decent mixed bulk because he has 175 BST. All things considered, this is pretty strong for a build that has no premium skills in it. Yes, Life and Death 3 and Quick Riposte take, you know, some feathers if you don't have access to like Soth and you have to spend 20k on QR3 anyway. But like, the thing you're getting out of this is really excellent. Like 60 attack, 37 speed. This is gonna kill stuff. At the very least, this is going to be able to kill +10 stuff in AA without any issue whatsoever. So Ellie-Good is in fact Ellie-Good. God help us if we ever get access to Ellie goods that have IVs and merges, because oh my goodness, will he become a complete monster. Moving on, Summer Xander. You know, Summer Xander, 30 attack, double fortress defense. I see this is a help the enemy team in rival domains build, is what it looks like to me. Help the enemy charge their specials. Of course, the big advantage here is that you do have 49 defense with Ignis, so when Ignis goes off, it is going to kill a lot of stuff. But on the other hand, 30 base attack. Or not, sorry, not summer, spring. It's late. Yeah, spring Xander, not summer Xander. Yeah, I get flashbacks to summer Xander whenever I see any Xander now. If you're gonna go full meme, okay. So this is something that you'll probably have to confirm with me. You know, whoever sent this one in. Is the QR2 just to meme, or is it actually because you didn't have the feathers for QR3? Because either way works. So I can't tell if I'm like 1 or 2 brain levels beneath this build. Otherwise, classic meme. We have Summer Robin again from G4. So if you did send in again, you did need to fight a battle to update your unit. So if you sent in again without fighting a battle, then your unit did not get updated. So since I have gone over this one before, I will be moving over this one. Alright, next up we have Xian with a Nefni. Excellent build. Slaying, distant counter, wrath, moonbow. Bam. What else do you need to know? Nefni can play a decent mixed phase set because she's actually fast enough to double a lot of units, so she's able to leverage moonbow on both phases. Again, like all infantry that don't have access to personal specials, basically all infantry that aren't Aira, you do eventually need to pay the Aether tax, right? And that sucks. But until that point, this is an incredibly lethal build, provides some team support with drive speed, is very hard to kill with physical damage, and is going to kill a lot of things immediately on retaliation thanks to Wrath and Moonbow. Excellent build. Not much else to say. What? Error has occurred. Oh. We have a tier 1 player with a 40+6 Ishtar. +6 on tier 1. I feel like this might be like a reroll account, or someone's been saving for Ishtar since like launch or something. This to me looks like it's base kit Ishtar except with desperation and a seal. Base kit Ishtar is good. Yeah, this should have been Kieran instead of Ares. Whenever I see Ishtar, I'm really kind of bummed that she doesn't have Flashing Blade by default, because I really think she is perfect for Flashing Blade. But if you don't have Flashing Blade, then Swift Sparrow is perfectly fine too. Not much else to say. Odd Attack Wave is really good. Desperation is really what Ishtar should have had, other than Vantage, other than like lore reasons. And then Swift Sparrow fits with what Ishtar wants to do. It's basically her base kit, but her base kit is good. We have another Kagero. This time is a 40+1 Kagero with a Rogue Dagger Growing Wind close counter set with tons of debuffs, actually. This is really interesting. So 32 speed isn't going to be fast enough to avoid a lot of doubles. And having only 56 physical bulk and 58 magical bulk is a little bit low, especially considering you're going to be doubled a lot. But on the other hand, with speed smoke and attack smoke, if you do ever get to attack, then you're gonna neuter the enemy offense. Rogue Dagger versus Smoke Dagger is an interesting choice. I actually do think Rogue Dagger is better in general. And the AoE special makes sense on Kagero because her base attack is so high. So this is a cool build. I like that you're trying to use Seal attack speed productively. I don't know if it's going to work out too well in practice, but I also don't have too much experience with builds like this, so maybe you'd be able to explain better how this actually works. Yeah, you have to pick off a ranged unit or non-DC first. That makes perfect sense. And I have to imagine that once you do, then it becomes like a lot scarier and helps her team. But interesting build though, for sure. Can't actually see that because of the color. Ceased DA says, are you still accepting requests? I think I'm not going to accept any more requests right now because we still have kind of a lot to go through and it's getting late my time. Alright, moving on, we have Seraphim Ron with a 40+9 Sheena using the double ploy set. This build's like beautiful. What else is there to say? Sack of Gifts works on the enemy phase. This is a perfect enemy phase build. Sheena's mixed bulk is absolutely crazy, and when you have double ploys, you have defense ploy to help offset her low base damage, and you have attack ploy to make her effective bulk even higher. This build is really, really hard to kill. This build will activate Aether almost all the time. The only thing about this build that doesn't quite work is the fact that by replacing Slaying Axe with Sack of Gifts, you prevent Aether from activating in one round of combat. But in exchange, you do have a generally stronger enemy phase, so you can survive more bold fighter armors. So it's kind of a trade-off. It only really matters on like the very fringe matchups, but I have to imagine that, you know, someone who's invested in a 40+9 Sheena knows what matchups they need to win and which matchups they need to care about. The Ambidex says this is not a plus speed Sheena. If that is the case, then you are missing out on some points. But on the other hand, I really hate plus speed Sheenas because it's like, it indicates to me like the problem with Arena, which is just that why you don't even get the choice of customization, you have to pick the plus speed IV. That sucks. But yeah, beautiful build, perfect Sheena, makes tons of sense. Next up, we have Jim with a 40+10 Titania. Using Sack of Gifts, Dull Ranged, and Brazen Defense Res. This is a really cool build, because this mixed bulk is actually kind of insane, and dual ranged makes sense because Titania is already fast. So once you add in like cavalry buffs here, so let's assume that we have cavalry buffs or tactics here, right? Because that's what I think goes with this set. Once you factor that in, how do you kill this, right? She's gonna have like high 40s effective speed. She's gonna have like 50s mixed bulk. And she's gonna throw out like Ignis bombs. And you don't even get the benefit of buffs yourself. Like, this is just really, really hard to kill. See if she has distant counter. I have to imagine she does have DC. Poleaxe. Poleaxe on Titania. So good. I really want to give my Titania Poleaxe just because I think it looks cool, even though I don't actually want to use it on her. Tons of specials. My god. This Titania has taken so many lives. Attack defense 1, and there's distant counter. Yep. This is an amazing Titania. This is really cool because you're using a skill that is very uncommon in a productive way that a lot of people wouldn't think to use. And the end result actually looks like it works really well. You've overcome Titania's base attack by switching to a special bomb, and you've leveraged her mixed bulk and speed. This is cool. We have Lynn again. I think this is probably the same error. Lynn from Soaring. Probably going to error out. No. So again, if you sent something in already, remember to update it next time, because otherwise it's just going to send the same thing in. Alright, so we have a Fallen Celica. 40 plus 2. Distant counter, chill speed, distant defense. Man, Fallen Celica has a really good stat line. Like, 52 attack, 39 speed, 30 defense, 24 res. She doesn't have, like, the over-the-top power that the stronger red units have, but, like, she kind of does everything. Chill speed's really good here, obviously. Distant counter makes tons of sense on Fallen Celica because her mixed bulk is really, really good. And distant defense fits into it more. I think so far the only thing I accepted was Zephiel. Now I kind of feel bad. Because there are a lot of actually really cool builds that like are totally totally worthy of being on my friends list, but I'm just trying to... And I'll figure out something with friends list. She reminds me of Nefne, but more defense than res. Yeah, kind of, actually. Where she doesn't really do the... She doesn't have like one axis along which she is really powerful, but she is instead just good in melee across the board. Good Celica. Pretty basic, but again, basic is good because basic works. Sharina. Slaying Lance, Steady Breath, Quick Riposte, Close Defense. This is a high investment Sharina. Now, you might say that this looks pretty mediocre for its stats, or for the investment, rather. And you'd be kind of right. Sharina is very outdated at this point. But, in exchange, Sharina has access to the Tempest Trial bonuses in the arena. So, when you're actually using her in a map, she's going to be really good. In PvE, this is strong enough to do everything. In the arena, with the bonuses, she's going to be insane. I like this build a lot. I think a lot of people should be investing in score-optimized and effective sets for their Asker trio, because they're going to be necessary at some point. And this is basically how I would build Sharina if I had to do that. Not much else to say. Steady Breath, Quick Riposte, Aether is a time-tested combo, and Close Defense, Drive Defense allows her to help her survive and provide some team utility. It says a lot about Sharina's personal weapon, though, that Slaying Lance is really just better. We have another Ishtar from Duel. Replacing, let's see, keeping Swift Sparrow from base kit, but replacing Moonbow with Aether, replacing Vantage with Wings of Mercy, and running an Attack Seal. Hey Raging Rob, what's up? Man, I've been talking for a while. I can feel my voice like starting to go. So, this to me looks like a work in progress. I'm not really sure what Wings of Mercy is doing. So maybe you could explain that to me, Duel, because I don't really... I don't understand how Wings of Mercy works very well for Ishtar, because it's going to be very difficult to teleport into a situation where her combat is going to be relevant. Oh, I need Hydration Bot. That's what I need, because I'm clearly just not hydrated. Oh yeah, points make sense. But otherwise, solid Ishtar. This is basically what you need to do if you want to run her in the arena right now as a bonus unit, and she looks like she's really fun to play with. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get one, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. Is this... Crady did not send in a Marissa before. So this is a different Marissa. We've had multiple Marissas now. Again, like the other Marissa, high health, infantry pulse, using squad ace for even more HP. I have to imagine that this character is maybe summoner supported to bring you up to 61, and then you're just setting up a vengeance bomb. So vengeance bombs are really odd because we don't have enough support for them. Vengeance, like if you have 61 health, like let's say this is summoner supported. If you have 61 health and you get a Vengeance at 1 HP, that's a lot of damage. Like that's enough damage to break the triangle. The only downside is that it takes a lot more setup compared to other triangle breaking playstyles. Like any sort of triangle breaking Wodao build, I would always go for Wrath in the B slot if you can, but I understand that investing Wrath in merge limited units is always a bit suspect. Good build. Same thing I liked about the other Marissa, you're using her health in a productive way, which is really cool, because it's one of her big advantages as a character. Alright, next up we have a Selena. 40 plus 10. Let's see, like all Selenas, she has low attack, but her mixed bulk and speed are pretty good. Again, this is the triangle breaking build. Steady Breath, Wrath, Slaying Edge, Ignis. You can put this on like most sword units, and it's going to blow stuff up. Like, there's not much else to it, right? Selena's fast enough to get those doubles. She's going to blow people away. You attack into her, she has 50 defense, Ignis goes off, 40 damage, ship it. That's all there is to it. If you're ever looking for a tanky red unit build, seriously consider just running something like this. Whether it's on Hinata, whether it's on Selena, whether it's on, I don't know, pick your favorite tanky red infantry. Just run this set, and you'll just blow people away. Alright, female Morgan. I think we did this one, right? Did we do this one? I don't remember. This looks very familiar. Lar Serpent Res Refine, Mirror Strike QR attack ploy. I think we did this, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, same error. And then Sam sends in a 40 plus 10 Raven, this time with a speed refined Basilicos, using Gale Force, Heavy Blade, Fury, Desperation, and Infantry Pulse. This is interesting because you have opted for the speed refine over the life and death refine, which, while it seems crazy at first, you already have 57 attack and 48 speed, right? Like, yes, Raven can hit those insane attack numbers, which does help him break the triangle on raw damage, but by going with the speed refine, you've instead treated him more like a traditional mixed phase bruiser. He's not going to be breaking the triangle much more, but he has much better physical bulk, and he's going to be able to fight tanky green units with auto doublers. He's going to be able to fight any blue unit anyway. So he doesn't need to be breaking the triangle. He just needs to win his neutral matchups and his advantage matchups, and this build does that. Gale Force, great on Raven, great with Heavy Blade, good set, not much else to say. And then the last one we're going to go over is, oh, this is good. We have something a little uncommon, even though a lot of people have done things like this. 40 plus 10 Felicia from Fate. Felicia's plate, obviously, with the unique refine, to send all mages straight into the dumpster. With 42 res before you count anything else and Felicia's plate, all mages are done. Like, mages are just dead. There is no contest here. Like, you've got what, 54 defense or 54 res against any mage, like without them having color advantage. Yeah, they're done. Glacies on Felicia, duh. Felicia speed, great. Quick Riposte is an interesting choice. On the one hand, I'm normally not against putting QR on fast units because it does let them win matchups against other fast units. On the other hand, there aren't that many mages that you don't double naturally at high score. So what I mean by that, I mean like, the mages you're going to encounter in plus 10 world are going to be like, you know, Winter Tharja, or like Halloween Henry. And even though Halloween Henry isn't slow by any means, this Felicia should still be fast enough to double him, unless I'm crazy. Especially if you considered running like speed ploy instead of attack ploy. But as is, I'm going to trust your math here because I don't have a 40 plus 10 Felicia, and I'm going to assume that quicker post is important for winning matchups against, say, like Lynn, Valentine's Lynn specifically, or against the occasional like Flying Blade Tome Mage that you still see. So this is an excellent build. It is a dedicated anti-mage that has some niche utility as like an anti-armor, but that's what Felicia is now. So cool build. All right, and that was a lot of unit review. Like a lot, actually. Oh, I accidentally locked my phone instinctively. 1 second. Bringing it back up now. Okay. And I'll accept my quests before reset. And I think I will go ahead and wrap things up with maybe a couple more minutes of Q&A, and then I'll go ahead and go. And I'll just sit on the summon screen to make chat want to summon. Yeah, man, hero reviews are fun, but holy crap. Like, you really do gotta buckle up. I should have been more prepared. I'll even tap this button. We'll leave it right there. How tall am I? I'm like 5'10". I'm not super tall. Oh, there was a question earlier that I didn't answer about what I'm saving orbs for. I'm saving my orbs for Choose Your Legends 2. I am targeting 1,500 orbs. I think I should be able to make it, but yeah, I wanna take a shot at getting a +10 on that banner. Let's see. Raging Rob asks, how would you feel about Brazen Defense and Res on Seth? If you did something similar on Seth, like that Titania from Jim, I think that would be really cool. I think you could do something similar to that. Seth doesn't have quite the same kind of like insane speed that Titania does, so he's not going to be able to leverage his mixed bulk quite as well, but I think the same general idea would work. Let's see. Which game do you hope gets a new batch of units? I want more Tellius units. I think there are a lot of Tellius characters that I really like that we haven't seen yet, like Shinon and Gatry and any of the Lagoos. So I want Gatry and Gatry specifically as a unit I desperately want, because Path of Radiance was my very first Fire Emblem game, and Gatry carried my terrible brand new player run. Who do you think will be the first blue Dragon Slayer? Oh yeah, Horror and Jill, obviously. Who do you think will be the first blue Dragon Slayer? That is tough. How many people have, like, a Dragon Lance? Not too many. I can't even think of anyone, to be honest. I mean, outside of maybe, like, a Dragon Slaying Mage. Let's see. Dyer, what's your favorite games in the series? My favorite Fire Emblem game is Radiant Dawn. I like Radiant Dawn a lot. I think it does some really interesting things, not necessarily from a writing perspective, but I really like the anthology structure, and just the sheer size of the cast is kind of crazy. Like the build towards the finale in Radiant Dawn, I think is really cool. When you play actual FE after heroes, does it throw you off when your units don't wander on KO? So the thing that throws me off the most is honestly just mages. Like, I now treat every mage like they just have 2 range when they totally don't. Like, I have to relearn 1 to 2 range on mages every time. I was thinking Choose Your Legend Celica with Seraphim as a Dragon Slaying blue weapon. That'd be really cool. I was thinking Celica's Choose Your Legends might have been like a red armor, but she could be blue. Ugh. Stretch. Wonder how big this file is going to be after I stop recording. probably going to take up like my entire disc. I have to relearn that armors aren't good. That's pretty good too. Just you wait until they add desert terrain in Heroes where like everyone can only move one tile except infantry, mages, and flyers. Yeah, Choose Your Legends 2 is cool because I genuinely don't know what everyone's going to be. I think Hector has like a decent shot of being infantry with Wolfbeal, but on the other hand, I think everyone still wants Hector to be like a big badass armor. So that would be fine too. And then Veronica is of course like a total question mark, like we have no idea what she's going to be. Hector is a sword armor, that would also be really cool. Red Dragon Pool is really sparse, which is odd. Yes, the Red Dragon Pool only having 2 units still is like kind of messed up. I really want a fast red dragon. Like I think a fast red dragon would be one of the most interesting things they could add to dragons that wasn't just like power creeping them. Will Choose Your Legends 2 Hector be our third source of distant counter? I would be very surprised if Choose Your Legends Hector does not have distant counter. Like, it's kind of iconic to Hector at this point. DT, you're the guy Akaris keeps seeing, right? Yes. My Soren is the one that gets bullied by Xander. What? Stream went offline? No, never mind. I wouldn't want a new red dragon that competes with adult Tiki. I would want a red dragon that was like female Kana or female Corrin, like the very fast red dragons. Hector Copter is a flying unit. That'd be pretty good. Diginsia, I would really like Diginsia. Diginsia and Kurth Naga would be excellent. Do I think is it Ilger? I don't know how to pronounce her name. Do you think she might be a red Tome? I think Tome is a pretty safe bet. I don't know what color she would be though, but I highly doubt she'll be playable. Legendary Tiki. I'm surprised we haven't seen a legendary Tiki. All right, chat. Well, I'm getting tired, but I've left you all in suspense long enough. We get 1 red orb. Please choose wisely. Find the Aries for me. And I'll take questions until you agree. Who's your most hated unit out of the entire franchise? Ooh, hated unit. Hated unit's tough. Because there's a lot of units that I don't dislike, but there's a lot of units that that are forgettable. As far as units that have like actually let me down, like every time I've played Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, Mist always turns out terrible, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and say Mist. Even though like Mist shouldn't be bad. Ares in the bottom left, I don't think that's true. Just choose both. I could just choose both, you're right. Ares is a top, so he's the top orb. Pull both just to be safe, poggers. It's a convincing argument. Whoa! Thank you, Twitch chat. Man. And people say you shouldn't listen to Twitch chat when you summon. Like, come on. But on the other hand, though, this one isn't Ares. Which does mean that we have to pull the other one. Aww. All right. Whatever. I'll take like a YOLO, a YOLO Len. That's pretty good.